As veterans, we struggle to fit in, taught to never let feelings win. Lost in a world full of fear and pain, we all have hung our heads in shame. When we look up, we see hands reaching out. There is so much support about it, comes from above and others around. Please take a hand and rise from the ground. Stand up and fight for your life. Walk away from negativity. Don't give in to strife. Show up for yourself. Find your voice. Keep moving forward. You have a choice. Give compassion for the child inside. Healing pain, let hope reside. Lost you will no longer be, then you can help set others free. Now speak up and with us share the tools that make pain easy to bear. Advocate for others to lighten their load. Use your voice and join our show. On Coffee Talk with Bryan and Marie, we heal out loud, PTSD to advocacy.
And boom. Wow. There it is. Her poem made to life. And that is our new intro to the show. I got goosebumps. I really enjoy hearing it. Like I said, it just brings back the old 90s kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like those are like bands that I used to listen to back in the day in high school and stuff like that.
That was my favorite version that you just did, and I love how you put it. So, of those of you who don't know, I wrote the lyrics, and Bryan used AI to create the music and the video. And oh, I love how it turned out. That was perfect. Thank you for doing that. Like it, I was like, oh, that's my stuff. It's made to life. That's fun. Thank you.
You're over there singing it and everything. You know the whole song. So. Yes, and I've been having some fun playing with AI, and I've been able to make some really cool songs that I think we'll kind of share here once in a while, just to kind of break up the monotony of the show, and just to have a little bit of some fun. But how are you doing, Marie? How are we doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing it's been exhausting. There's a lot of moving parts in my life right now, as you know. Husband's gonna he's got some medical stuff going on. I've got some medical stuff, and we've got some stuff going on moving forward in life, and so just things a little crazy. How are you doing?
Doing all right. It looks like you're sitting in paradise, so you know what I mean. You want to talk about the picture behind you?
Yes. So this is my own photography here. This is Mount St. Helens many years ago. And I just decided, now that I've got a green screen, that I could put up some of my own photography and just feel happy. And so, yeah, thanks for noticing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all is going well. Finally getting kind of settled back into the normal thing of life. We got a little derailed, like we said, and one of the things that we kind of focused on is sometimes you got to step away from things sometimes to refocus, recalibrate, things like that. And it's much needed sometimes. Things will keep going. You know what I mean? You just sometimes you need to step away, get back, so that way you don't derail what you're doing as well, right? I mean, you might be on the derailment. You don't need to take things down with you. If you're drowning, when you start drowning, you want to start taking everything else with you around you because you're panicking. So sometimes detaching yourself from things so that way you kind of allow yourself to walk through it. And sometimes everybody works different, right? Everybody has their way of finding peace. You just got to start learning to use those toolbox that you've gotten along the ways, right? And that's something though through the show that I've learned a lot. Is so many great guests that we've had, all the great things I've learned from them. One of the great things, and even you, Marie, I mean, you've taught me to step away. I mean, the hardest thing is what you did is taking 30 days away from your normal life and totally putting everything off. I mean, at that level, and then your husband's over there, he's supporting you, but you got a household and everything else still that got to be ran. So yeah. So just like I said, you take the things that you learn and you try to apply them when you need them, and that's what this show is all about, and that's why we have great guests to come on and talk about great things. And I'm super excited for our next guest, and he's got a great story and doing great things in the community, and he's got a great vision. And I'm super excited for him to share it with everybody, and for us to help get his vision out there as well, and see what we can do and help and support our brothers and sisters at whatever they're doing. But let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and give Cash Coffee a little shout out real quick. And then when we come back on, Marie's going to go ahead and do us justice and give us another great poem. And then we're going to bring on our guest and get the show on the road. Here we go.
Awesome. Cash Coffee, if you guys don't know about it, it's in Logan. They are amazing. They do a wonderful community connection. They have a safe for if you don't feel safe to lock up your weapons, and they'll help you get mental health help. And they also just do a lot of community work. So Cash Coffee, Logan, Utah, check them out. You can also, I believe, order stuff online if you're interested. So today I am going to share a poem. As Brian was saying, there's a lot of tools that we learn how to find peace within. But I noticed that there's still a lot of people that focus on the external beauty of things. And I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was really struggling with someone calling her beautiful and not feeling beautiful. And so I came up with this poem because I realized sometimes we focus too much on the external stuff. And so this is called A Beautiful Life. And it's a little long, but I'll try and get through it pretty quickly so we can get our guest. So, a beautiful life. The label beautiful is not a compliment to most. And many times the way it's said creates an overdose. People get overfilled with that platitude, and yet it is expected to be met with gratitude. The people that say it to others sometimes don't believe it, which takes away the value, and some just won't receive it. It's not surprising that people react the way they do. When compliments have no substance, people see right through. Then there is the layer of the internal fight. Sometimes the past takes hold. Compliments don't feel right. It doesn't really matter how many times it's said, many people will not accept it in their head. When that word is heard, it creates insecurity. Past trauma can create great obscurity. Feeling awkward, they say thank you because it is expected, yet inside their mind, that label is rejected. Why do we focus on what's aesthetically pleasing? It seems to start in childhood, which sometimes leads to teasing. Many people focus on external body features. Sometimes it makes me feel like we are all caged creatures, expected to put on a show, makeup, clothes, or weight. When we feel insecure, beauty and worth we do conflate. Instead of telling people they are beautiful, let's instead say things that are non refutable. It may not be a curse word in and of itself, yet many times it knocks trauma from a shelf. Let's help people focus on the worth they have within. That's the only way healing can begin. Tell them how you see their spirit shining from inside, and if you see confidence in their every stride. If they talk about their passion, acknowledge how they smile. A compliment about their joy can be so worthwhile. When we focus on the things that are another's choice, it encourages their inner children to rejoice. Praise them for the work they've done to find peace in their pain. Let them know their service for others hasn't been in vain. Tell them how you see their plenty sacrifices. Celebrate when they overcome their vices. Beauty really is in the eye of the beholder, and we shouldn't put our value on another person's shoulder. For now, encourage people to find joy in other ways that has nothing to do with external praise. The best way to show people life is worth the fight is by helping others to find internal light. Maybe one day beautiful will not be such a trigger when the worth we feel inside becomes even bigger. More important than that label, feeling peace within your heart. Finally, knowing your value, no words can tear it apart. When we can find serenity within all the strife, then we can truly say we are living a beautiful life.
Outstanding. Here, let me fix this real quick. Boom. That way our names are right. That was
Very
outstanding.
good.
I do I do feel that that we have been taught to really focus a lot on external things, right? And materialistic items in general, right? And a lot of people stop to even look outside and think about all the great things that are, you know, free 99 to do. You know what I mean? You can go outside and go look at some beautiful scenery just like behind you. You know what I mean? That's free 99.
Yeah.
So I really love that poem. I couldn't agree more that we got to start looking a little bit deeper, right? Because there's a lot more to someone than meets the eye. So, all right, let's not make our next guest wait any longer. Super excited for this. Go ahead and give him his introduction.
Okay, so our next guest, Dr. Damon Friedman, he actually exemplifies that idea of helping people find the peace inside. From my understanding, he has a retreat out east, and our friends David Willis and Gunny were actually just a part of that recently. So they can't speak more highly of it, and it's SOF Missions. So I'm going to go ahead and read his bio, and then we will welcome him on. And I am so excited to have him here. Sorry for having to push back. We had to reschedule him while I was in the psych unit, and so we're grateful for his willingness to come back. And so Dr. Damon Freeman received his commission in 2000 as a United States Marine Corps officer and later transferred into the Air Force's elite as a special warfare officer. He retired after 20 years, having served 4 combat deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan in support of the global war on terrorism. His personal decorations include 3 Bronze Stars, 1 with Valor, and the Air Force Combat Action Medal. His new book, Igniting Movements, provides a model for building effective movements, inspiring people to come together under a singular vision to make the world a better place. Damon is the president of SOF Missions, which helps at-risk veterans by providing whole health care plans that support wellness and resiliency. He is also the chairman of the Veteran Service Alliance and sits on the board of the Florida Veterans Foundation as the District 4 representative. Dr. Friedman holds a doctorate in intercultural studies from Fuller and graduated from Harvard University's Executive Education Program in Public Leadership. Damon, come on the show. We are so excited to have you.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on the show. Man, I'll tell you, really glad to be here. And just like you said, Bryan, man, like the intro song, it totally took me back in the day of the music that we were listening to. And I was like texting my team and I was like, hey, I've got the Damon Friedman show on the Real Life Network. I'm like, we need an intro song because I'm just really feeling like I'm missing out on it. It's great. Like, boom, we start, but I think it was great. And Marie, you said that you wrote the lyrics, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, legit. So what a great combo there. But yeah, great to be here. I appreciate it. The stuff that you're doing, the work that you guys are doing is so meaningful to me, and that's why I'm on the show. So thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you.
And we're delighted and excited to hear about, everything you've done, what you got going on, and, talk about how it was for you when you got out, how that life looked for you. Some of us fall flat on our face. Some people already have it together. What worked, what didn't work for you. And, how did you end up becoming a doctor and all that stuff, man? I mean, that right there is a hell of a commitment, man. I got my bachelor's and I was like, wow. After that, I was like, I don't know if I could do any more school, man. Like, so to keep going is amazing, and you just definitely, from everything that I've read about you, you have that tenacious, spirit in you where you're just going to keep fighting and you don't stop. So, man, I'm excited to hear all about you and what you got going on.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I always like to share my story, but I have an agenda. I do inspire people, but mostly like my agenda is to motivate them so that they can understand who they are. 8 billion people in the whole world. And I believe without a shot of a doubt that God has a plan for everybody and that there is a purpose. And for us in our journey to understand what our purpose is, that fuels us, propels us to the work that we should be doing so that we can make the world a better place, to make an atomic impact, to change the world for good. And the way people do this is by affecting and helping and empowering one person at a time. So that's really like what I like to do. So I'm going to share my story. A lot of it is raw. I'm very authentic. I'm transparent. And I think that's important because leaders should be that way. We're human beings, and it's important that everyone knows that we put on the same pants the same way. And I'm just excited to see what we can do together on this podcast.
Absolutely, brother. And that's one of the things that we preach here the most is transparency, right? We can't really learn from each other what you don't give out, the more that we hold in, the less that someone can learn from. But the more that we get it out there, and you know what, some of the things that we talk about ourselves, sometimes we're not proud of. I've had to admit things, I've had to go through things, but that was part of my healing journey, right? Is accepting that stuff so I could move forward. And that's one of the critical things I think a lot of people don't like to do is face. It's a little bit of a fear for them to face the realities that something that they did or whatever, and now they're holding on to it, and it creates shame, right? We lean on a lot of shame, and we're scared to put it out because we don't want to be shamed by our peers, our loved ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's a struggle sometimes when you do get shamed, because that's happened to me where I was raw and transparent on the podcast, and I actually had someone shaming me for it, and that was really rough, and that was hard to kind of overcome. But I realized, and what I told them, I said, my story may not be for you. If this is something that is really rough for you to hear, that's fine. My story is for the people that need it. And so finding that way to be raw and honest and just say it doesn't matter if people don't like what you have to say. You use your voice. The whole point of this, and Bryan and I have talked about it a lot, is it's healing out loud. And I wrote a poem, based on that, is that idea that we are healing out loud. We are the only way that we can truly find healing is by bringing light to the demons that we have inside, and by letting other people know what we've been through so that they know they're not alone and they can find that healing as well. So that's the whole point of what we have. Healing out loud, PTSD to advocacy. That's our little motto that we've adapted to. So
yeah, I dig that. Thank you for sharing that, Marie. It's important. Yeah. Our stories, it's ours. It's ours, and somebody out there needs to hear it. And that's what matters most. It's not about it's interesting though, like you guys have this podcast and people are going to jump on and they're going to criticize some things. You've got so many interesting people. You got professional jealousy. You've got people that are just hurt, and they just we all know that hurt people hurt others, right?
People.
And I heard this the other day. It says, but happy people make other people happy. So like stick around with the happy people.
Right.
But anyway, thanks for sharing that, Marie.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit, give us a little bit of background, your past, a little bit about your military, and then we will dive into what you have going on now.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Los Angeles, a really poor family, single mom. My mom, San Juan, Puerto Rico. We lived in the melting pot. My mom, from the island, was the first Wonder Woman of my life. I always like to introduce her that way because people will ask me, like, who built you? It wasn't my biological father. He was a really bad person, a really violent person, and I'm not going to get into all the stuff that he did, but he hurt our family really bad. I lived in 14 different places in the first 12 years of my life simply because we were running away from my biological father. And my mom did everything and anything possible to make sure that her twin boys, Raymond and Damon, would have food on that table. There are times that we didn't have enough money to pay the bills, to have food. But my mom worked around the clock, working for $4.25 an hour. And she did what was right. And it was a tough time. There were many moments where I was asking, God, like, where are you? What's happening? And the reality is that he was just shaping me. That's what he was doing. A lot of people like to run away from suffering. They like to blame other people for the pain and agony. But the reality is that we learn so much from suffering, and through suffering, we are shaped and crafted into a vessel. We can allow these things to destroy us or to make us stronger, more powerful, better. And I've had a bit of suffering in my life. I really have. The struggle has been totally real, and it's just been one chapter after another. I got out of LA. I was a juvenile delinquent. I got out of LA and it was tough. But the way that I got out is I was a runner. I was about running 100-mile weeks when I got out of juvie. And I remember one summer I ran 1,000 miles. And one day I found myself as the top runner in the state. We moved from California to Florida. That's where I reside today. And I can recall that moment where I'm looking to my left and my right, and I'm thinking, all you guys better figure out who's second, because this guy's going to be number one. There was a time, man, I was so fast, and I would finish the race, and all my buddies, they would come in and they start, fanning the flames from my running shoes. I'd take them off. We're on fire, bro. And it was a really good time. And the
just
fact is
inflating that ego too, man.
Yeah, man. I was like, what's up? They used to call me disco and stuff like that. And, but I learned that hard work, a strong work ethic, is going to get you to your destination. And that's something that a lot of people are missing, especially with this generation. And I don't mean to be like one of those old dudes that go, man, in my generation, Generation X, we used to work for everything. We got some hardworking kids nowadays, but the majority, I think, are expecting too much from their parents. And so, but yeah, it was a tough upbringing. And from that point, got a chance to go to college. I will tell you, man, you read my resume. I understand it looks really impressive, but bro, I'm here to tell you, I'm a late bloomer. I am a super late bloomer. People don't know that I actually graduated when I was 19. I failed a grade. I was kicked out of 3 different schools. I'm telling you, it was just my mom. I'm surprised she didn't die of a heart attack.
I wouldn't have got that part from the resume. So yeah.
No. I mean, it gets worse too. So finally, like, once I graduate, I'm going to college and I'm a 2.0 and go, dude. I mean, Bryan, I think that you and I might have something in common, really. Hardest one here on the net. And the fact is I barely graduated high school, went to college. I really was struggling. I went to school for 5.5 years of college. I talk about that all the time when I'm speaking on stage. I'm a premier Speakers Bureau speaker. And I always like to highlight, like, who went for 4 years? And you got all these executives like 4 years. They're so proud. Like, I graduated 4 years, And I'm like, you guys got shit, bro. Because I got 1.5 years more of college than you did. I went for fun. But here's the truth. The truth was I had a learning disability. And by the 3rd school, I remember Professor Dr. Kearney and Dr. Vandenbush. They were both in the psychology department. They said, kid, you got, man, like you're firing with all the synapses, but it just seems like there's something wrong. Maybe your wires are tied up or something. And I got tested and I found out that I had a learning disability. So we kind of rewired, relearn how to memorize things and put it in the brain housing group. And all of a sudden I started getting A's. I don't know how that happened.
Wow.
Abnormal psychology, I had like the highest grade in the class. I was blown away by it. I'm like, are you serious? And considering it was abnormal psychology, right? Like, I mean, because maybe I'm an abnormal person, but I ended up retaking a lot of classes. And that's why it took me 5.5 years. Ultimately, I graduated one of the top in the class as a student athlete of the year. And top 5.
Can I say,
go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, I am impressed that you did not give up and you kept going, because there's so many people who find out they have a learning disability and they just get stuck in the victim mentality. So I am so impressed that you actually took the time to be like, okay, I think that you are right, instead of saying, no, no, no. And then you took the test and you learned how to adapt, and you kept moving forward, and you retook those classes instead of just saying, screw it. I think that is beautiful.
I'll go a step further. Really, you owe a tribute to those teachers who recognized that, and then they identified it and said, hey man, you are a really brilliant kid, but I think there's something a little bit more there. And then they literally led you to a point that you had like a roadblock, right? And boom, they freed that roadblock kind of for you, brother. And then boom, you went from that barely making that 2.0 guy to that 4.0 guy. You know what I mean? Now, what a difference. And those, good for those teachers stepping it up and then helping a student out and taking a little bit of time and saying, hey man, you know what? There's more to you.
Yeah. I'll tell you the secret sauce. The secret sauce was this. When I received a phone call and my mom came back when I was in high school, she came, we lived in a 450 square foot apartment, green carpet, cockroach. It was not an impressive neighborhood. And my mom was just hoping and praying that one of her twins is going to make it in the world, right? It happens all the time. Maybe not, for the most of us, but she walks out into the living room and she's crying. And she says, Francis, and that's actually my first name, Francis. Try being named like Francis in downtown LA. You're going to get hard pretty soon. It's like a boy named Sue, right?
Brian's in California, so he gets it.
Yeah. There you go, brother.
I grew up in LA County area. So.
Yeah. So my mom's crying and I'm like, Mom, what's wrong? And she said, you got all these colleges. They're calling you. They want to give you a full scholarship. I can recall vividly that moment. I told her, Mom, I'm not smart enough. She says, listen to me. You're going to go. And you're going to go not for yourself. You're going to go for everyone that never got a chance. You're going to go for your friends. You're going to go for your cousins and nieces and everyone that never made it out of LA. And you know what? You're going to go for me. So you see, when it gets hard, you got to make it because you're the one. And it was so powerful, man. It was so powerful. And that's what was driving me. And I wanted to do well. I was trying really hard. I just didn't know what was going on in the head. And I think that that's kind of a declaration to all the other people that we can find a solution. You just sometimes have to take a step back, listen to the people that care about you, people that you trust and have confidence in, because they're speaking wisdom into you. We're so busy being defensive about everything, especially nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's good to surround yourself with good people. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's my story for college. And from there, it's my mom asked me, okay, now what are you going to do? Go ahead, bro. You wanted to say something.
Yeah. I think that, God puts people in our lives at the right time and everything. And you had everything kind of lined up for you to get you where you needed to be, right? You had your mom who was pushing you. Then you had, professors in there realizing some things too, you know what I mean? And it just like, it started aligning itself and you were where you needed to be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, and sometimes we fail to look at those little hints along the way, right? There's people that come and go, and there's sometimes they reveal things to you. They may say something that's just like, and wow, that was kind of weird. And then you either can, think about it and move with it or kind of go about your way. But it's weird how things are set up. And as I've gotten older, I've started to see that a lot more because I've slowed down a lot more. And I do start to see those signs a lot more. And I do. And now I'm learning how to react better towards some of them too. Cause sometimes you're like, why in the hell is this happening?
Yeah.
And sometimes we quit, man. And and Marie had a good point. You could have stopped. You could have got frustrated with the whole situation. And I think that's where a lot of people fail themselves, right? Is they give up on themselves because they're too busy putting into everybody else, and then they forget about themselves.
No, I totally understand. I'll tell you that since I was a kid, I just felt like I was called to do something good in the world. Notice I didn't say grand or great. I said just something good in the world. I really believe that, like I started the podcast in sharing that everybody has a plan, and it's so good. God has a plan for everybody. And once we find that, once we realize what that plan looks like, not every part of the journey is going to be known, but if we just take faith and action it and take just one step forward every single day toward the goals and the objectives of your life, you'll see how things radically change, especially when you start making a positive impact in your community and people's lives. I really believe that if people want to find a sense of wholeness and fulfillment, it's in service. It really is. There's something powerful about just helping someone else, especially when you have a little bit more than they do. And maybe you don't have much. All the listeners out there, maybe you don't have a lot. That's okay, man. So you ever heard of the widow's mite? Right. And the reality is that you guys, the little that we do have, we can really, really make somebody's life change radically, so, but I've got my service dog over here. So when you start seeing a little bit of lights or a little here,
she's a little wagging of the tail. Look at that.
Look at that.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
know what? Something that I've learned through my recent trials and tribulations, right, is grace. Is having grace on others and also being able to receive grace from others. Right. Yeah. And I think that grace is a big thing, man. And it goes a long way. And it's something that you got to humble yourself a little bit to understand. I think sometimes the absolute meaning of grace and when you receive it and when to give it type deal.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I love that you're talking about, serving other people. And sometimes that's just as simple as a smile or holding a door open for someone. Those simple acts, like if you don't feel like you can do, if you don't feel like you can do a lot of service, and like sometimes we have to take a step back, and I've talked about it in other podcasts before, is like sometimes we get compassion fatigue and we have to take a step back from serving. But in those moments where we take a step back from doing the big acts of service, we can still put a smile on someone's face by just smiling or opening the door. And I think that is super, super important.
And just even giving little compliments to people like, hey, you're doing a great job out there. I think that a lot of times, a lot of people have a hard time telling someone else they're doing a great job. And I think that if we can do, especially men, it's a pride thing. I think the guy's just like, if I tell him, he's going to think I'm gay or something. You know what I mean? It's like, no, man, you know what? We got to start recognizing people and let them know they're doing a great job. Because even when I was staying at these Airbnbs and stuff, there was this lady who would come clean the house and stuff like that in between times. And I saw her and I went up to her and I said, I don't know if anybody ever tells you, but I watched you and I think you're doing an amazing job. I think you're doing a great job at what you're doing. And I promise you that the people that make her do the job probably don't even say hello.
Your dog
wants to be a part of the show. He's like, hello.
I'm trying to get her off. She's on the wire of the thing on the thunder on the lightning bolt here.
So
bringing down the house.
So quick question. Okay, what is the deal with that lightning bolt? And when you're done with that, tell us how you went from college into military then. But what's the deal with the lightning bolt?
Yeah, so it comes from my youth. Where I'm a bit and my agent over at Brian Lord over at Premier Speakers Bureau and Aaron was the original. Aaron who found me as a professional speaker was trying to describe me as like, what kind of a speaker is Damon Friedman? And immediately said he's electric. And that helped me. Like I recalled wherever I went, somebody said like I brought a lightning bolt. I have a lot of energy. I'm really amped up. What I believe in, I go all in, and I carry this lightning bolt wherever I go. Interestingly enough, I tell my children, wherever you go, you have a lightning bolt. When it's time to race, you use that lightning bolt. Boom. When I go on stage, I use that lightning bolt. Boom. boom, whenever I'm in a meeting and I'm trying to close this deal and get this big donor, boom, I take out this lightning bolt. When I'm on the mat doing jiu-jitsu, when I went to the ADCC East Coast Championships, I'm fighting all these guys that are 20 years younger than me. I'm bringing out my lightning bolt. I'm bringing it all that I've got. So lightning bolt is a direct reflection of my soul. And that's what it means to me. So everything that I have, there's a bolt of lightning. And I believe that everyone in their own right is an Avenger. And the question is what is the gift? What is your superpower? I like to say that, everybody has a gift in the world. I believe that down to the core of my soul. When we're all born in this world, we have a gift. I call it a superpower, and it's our responsibility to identify that superpower, harness it, and use it to be an unstoppable force for good. So this is my bolt of lightning. And I don't use it often, but when it's time, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm rocking it. And that's what it represents.
So for those who are listening and aren't seeing the video, he has a lightning bolt light on his desk, and his dog was knocking it over. And so, yeah, kind of fun.
Yeah. I think she got a little bit, she touched the socket, and so it's okay. She's a smart dog. She won't do that again.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
Well,
anyway,
let's
She
hear
looks a
how
little
did you
fuzzy today.
yeah.
how did you transition from college into military then? What was
my
that
mom,
transition?
Yeah. So next conversation that was very significant with my mom. I graduated college. She's asking me, okay, Francisco, what are you going to do now? And I thought to myself long and hard, when we needed a place to live, our country provided. When we needed food, our country provided. When it was time for an education, my country provided. So I decided, I'm going to join the United States Marine Corps. I'm going to be a devil dog. I'm going to be a war machine. And I wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. On top of all that, my biological father is a very scary person. He was very physical. And I thought to myself, well, if I join the Corps, I'm going to become a war machine. And maybe one day I don't have to be afraid of my biological father anymore. And you know what, brother, sister? It's the truth, man. You know this, Bryan. They break you down, they build you right back up, and you just become this killing machine. And from that day on, I wasn't afraid of anyone. The Marine Corps, they instill this confidence, man. Yeah, doesn't matter how tall you are, doesn't matter how it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter. You're a war machine, and you're going to be able to take anybody down. Bryan, come on, give me a new raw on that one. Let's,
Hey, let me tell you, brother. They teach you how to run through a fucking block wall, with made of steel.
Yeah, it's true.
So, and we chewing on lead.
I was just going to say, so I was Army. My husband was a Marine. And so I'm surrounded by Marines, it's just happens, it just so happened that Bryan's a Marine. And anyways, so my husband has told me some stories about your guys' training, and I'm like, holy hell. Like you guys trained harder in your basic training in AIT than I did the entire year I was in Iraq. Seriously, you guys train flipping hard. And I am not bashing the Army by any means, but I have a really high respect for you Marines and the stuff that you guys do. It's powerful. So I think
they
that's
make
awesome.
Every single one of us a basic rifleman, so we have to go through the regular, we all get taught the same way from the beginning, and then we go off to either School of Infantry or combat support training. But yeah, it is something else, man. And I know you went into the Air Force afterwards, but I know damn well that they could not take the Marine out of you, bro. You could leave the Marine Corps, but the Marines don't leave you. You know what I mean? So I know you definitely were carrying that with you when you went in.
How long were you in the Marines before you transitioned?
So what happened was, when people look at my military resume, they have no idea that at first I was in logistics. They think automatically I was in infantry, and I'm very proud to share that.
Guy.
Yeah, I was in support, logistics. I understand what it feels like.
Red patcher? Were you a red patcher?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I was. Yeah. I was actually second air delivery platoon commander. And it was awesome. But we were part of the invasion. I got deployed. I was at Task Force Tarawa, 2nd MEF in support of 1 MEF. And I got a chance to go all the way, went through Safwan, south of Baghdad, all the way back down. That was my trip, and did well. And this during the invasion, like everybody got some. Everybody, infantry. I mean, you could have been on any MOS, and you're going to get into the fight. And so we did. Came back. I returned.
What years were you in? Sorry.
Oh yeah, so 2000 and 2005 is the years that I was serving in. Yeah, so 2003.
I'm 2000 to 2004, and I was also part of the invasion. I was at Camp Commando. I got there in January as an early party and was helping offload all the ships and stuff like that, getting them coordinated so all the units could come pick them up, and then we busted in from Camp Commando into Iraq, and then we landed in Babylon, and we had a little setup over there.
So it's interesting. I could just my memory is so bad when people go, "Were you here? Were you there?" I know that I was at Camp Fox.
Yes.
And
I definitely know Camp Fox.
Yeah, and that's where I was at. I can't recall all the bases that I was in. Moving south of Baghdad, I really don't.
I don't remember all the details either.
I only know where we resided the longest. I don't remember little touch points where we kind of sat, and that's where everybody was stewing the fire pits and stuff. Out in the
and all the crap
the dirt.
We were burning.
Yeah.
So a lot of us are gonna have some cardiovascular.
We just lost a Marine. He died from it, and he's known as a burn pit.
It's gonna be bad.
Multiples are starting to come out now.
Yeah, my roommate in Iraq actually, my roommate when I was in Iraq, she actually has non-Hodgkin's lymphoma from the burn pit, and there's actually a possibility that my genetic condition that was triggered might have been triggered by and I might also have an autoimmune disorder. We're in the process of trying to figure it out, but it might be from toxic exposure. So
something just to chew on though. Do you remember all the anthrax shots that we got?
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to fight over COVID shots, but can we recall anthrax?
Go look at all the things that happen from the long-term effects. We're starting to hit the long-term effect area now because it's been, I got them like 20 something years ago. And I started looking stuff up. I was like, oh gosh, bro, there's some bad long-term effects that come from that stuff. And even affecting children and stuff like that. Like kids, your kids and stuff like that. But
and the worst part about that,
and we were in all the stuff we were breathing over there, bro, during the sandstorms and all the stuff, because there was Desert Storm before us and they were blowing stuff up, ordnance, and we're breathing it all in.
There's also a new study, I guess. I have not read it. This is all word of mouth, but somebody said that there's a new study where all the MREs have tested positive for some.
No, that's already that's so sure. Like, oh, that's lovely. I was a supply
so we're
guy.
eating it, we're breathing it.
Dude, we're screwed.
It's everywhere. We're getting injected.
Right? Like we're totally done. We're cooked. But what about all the other anthrax shots that we got because the records were lost because the corpsmen didn't know how to file them? I got to tell you, I think, how many total anthrax shots we're supposed to have? Like 6
for the when I was in, it was 5.
I got like
think
8.
Someone was like, I think there was 7. I was like, good shit. Maybe they raised them as I went through, but
I only remember getting 1. So.
You are lucky.
Before we went over there too, did they give you smallpox? We had to get smallpox in our arms.
Yeah,
all of us had that shit right here, dude.
Yeah.
And there was 2 people that got full blown smallpox, and they had to be quarantined into the tents and everything. They couldn't leave. It was wild, dude. We had to do like Navy showers and then spray it with bleach. You remember all that shit?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was the worst. For those of you who are listening that didn't know about smallpox, they used to do smallpox where it's multiple needle pricks, but now it's like 1 prick, but with like 20 needles. Like it's ridiculous. And it gets all infected and it's like oozing and goozing and it's so nasty. And they're like, don't touch it because you could get smallpox if you touch it. And you're like, what did you just inject me with? Oh,
yeah, I know.
Ridiculous. And then it leaves a scar and you have the scar for the rest of your life.
We had typhoid.
That's the battle scar.
They gave us the pills for malaria, the malaria pills.
Oh, we didn't have that.
Yeah. There's all kinds of
That's
stuff.
because they like you, Marine. That's why they liked you, right? They liked you. The Marine Corps, like, we're just drones, man. That's all we are.
Yeah,
like,
just put it in. I'm going to make a robot out of these guys.
Well, I also think it was the time frame. So I deployed. I joined in 06, and so I didn't deploy until 09, and so things were a lot different 10 years after you guys, or 8 years, whatever it was, and so I think they just adapted. Plus, you guys were probably doing much different shit than I was.
Invasion wise, it was a push because it was the rush to get to Baghdad. So they were just blowing through things, and then they were leaving regimes and stuff because it was just everybody trying to it was like, who could get to Baghdad the fastest? All the units were just, mad convoys, man. And it was wild. That was a wild time. You remember going through, and I don't know if there was like that highway hell or whatever. There was just, I couldn't tell you how many loads and loads of vehicles were going through. We were bringing a mad force.
So I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to interrupt just for a second. Just to respect your time. I know you said your time was a little limited.
We're good. We're doing good. We're doing good. Let's
keep
going. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I was going to say, do we need to move forward? How's that going?
We're doing good, man. We're doing really good right now. I just cleared another.
Awesome.
I just needed a meeting. I was like, I think I like this podcast. I'm gonna
I was going to say
I know, man. It's like, damn it, Marine talking and all this stuff.
We can talk for a long time. So I just wanted to make sure. And then also, if you're interested, like whatever we don't cover here, Bryan does an individual podcast where it's just him and the person, and they talk a lot more details about the military stuff. And so if you want to go into all those details and stuff with him, like, please do so. Like, we'll talk about whatever you want. We'll have you on as often as you want. We're enjoying this conversation. I just want to respect your time. That's
no, we're doing good. Let's keep pushing the way that we did.
Another
Iraq,
thing
man.
is with you, bro, is I don't find a lot of people that were in like the invasion part, right? You always find people that were a little bit different. So when you find someone that kind of was around that time frame, you remember a lot of the same things like that we're going through and stuff like that. So
so there's a possibility that you guys were together at some point.
It could have been. I mean, I went to Camp Fox multiple times. I mean, as a supply guy, we had to go to all the different camps. We had a big fire at Camp Commando. And so we had to go and resupply everybody with camis and everything. So we had to do all these crazy supply runs. And I know Camp Fox was one of them. Camp Doha, which was a big army base. There was Coyote. There was I couldn't even tell you how many different camps we had out there, and it was wild. But crazy times in that. I definitely enjoy talking about them. But yeah, man, so you went through all that stuff in the Marine Corps, and then we'll talk about how you decided what led you to go into the Air Force at that point.
Yeah, so something just to mention, when the invasion happened. And I went through, and I had my shot to go all the way up south of Baghdad. People are always asking me, how was it like? And the power of military might, 02 in the morning, right? At night, it was like, it was lit with all the bursting bombs. The power of military might blew my mind away. First time I ever started seeing dead people. And we did that. Like the Marine Corps just completely annihilated, crushed everything. All the tanks, all the vehicles, all the dead people. I remember still to this very day seeing the first dead body. And since this is a podcast, I'm not on a professional stage. I mean, the guy's brains are coming out of the ear. And it's the first time. Now, I had a hard upbringing, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, like I had a hard upbringing, hard. But I'll tell you what. It's the first time I started dealing with PTSD. I had no idea what even post-traumatic stress disorder was, but I started experiencing the symptoms, and it's crazy. Like how many years later, I got a flashback. I was like, what's wrong with me? I headed down to the psychiatrist. I'm like, dude, I don't know what just happened. I'm not even going to get into what occurred. No, I'm going to tell you since we got time because I just canceled another meeting. And
We got plenty of time, dude. We could.
We're
we could
on
go
your time,
forever.
dude. So yeah.
yeah. So I remember I'm shooting with my best friend, already past the deployment. I'm out there. He you know, it's downrange, and he tells me, "Hey, Damon, what's up?" My operating initials is Foxtrot November. I'm fast forwarding, right? I'm a special operator now at this time, but I'm fast forwarding, and he's like, "My gun is jammed." And I'm like, "Hey, are you sure that the round went downrange?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I think so. I'm pretty sure." And I'm like, "All right." You know, you always make sure that you're pointing downrange. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm pulling the slide, and of course, you know, I've got the finger on the trigger on purpose, right? Because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Then boom, I went to another land, bro. And I was out for like 45 seconds. My best friend goes, "You just froze. The gun dropped." It was like a movie. It's just slow. Like, I can't hear anything. I'm watching, and I'm right back in Iraq. Blew my mind. I had the next day, I'm like, "Dude, something's wrong with me." He goes, "Oh, that's PTSD." First time, years later. So with all that being said, I'm a Marine. I come back. Second Force Recon's recruiting. They're opening up all the MOSs. It's, you know, I've always wanted to be in some kind of special operator, you know, but at the end of the day, like, wherever God put me.
And you could already run, and you can run. So we know you can run.
Yeah, I could run, man. I had the 300 PFT the entire time.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I scored a
You were
perfect
one of those
PFT my
fools
entire
just sitting there,
career.
yeah,
dude.
doing pull-ups.
You went one-handed.
Yeah.
He's going this way with the pull-ups, not this way. He's sitting there.
Yeah, I'm just like, he's like, "Well, no problem." But anyway, and then I assessed, and I ended up being the top candidate. They opened it up to all MOSs. It was awesome. Went through the recon indoctrination. I'll always thank Gunny Bordash. I'm always thinking, you know, Gunny Coleman. Now they both Bassett Guns retired, but at the time, and they gave me a shot being a support guy. And to this day, they're great. They're great friends. Fast forward, I'm operating. I don't know if I can say that call sign because that might be still classified, but I'm the mission commander for Afghanistan. So I've got a particular call sign for air to ground. And I remember operating up in the Northwest, and I see Gunny Bordash. He's Massive Guns Bordash now. And he looked at me, goes, "Friedman, Damon?" I was like, "Dude, Massive Guns, man." He's like, "Yeah, I made it in life." Going back. So they trained me, had a great time. I became the Pathfinder team leader. And
So this is in the Air Force now?
So yeah, I was operating the Air Force. I know I'm playing with y'all's on timeline. So I'm going back.
No, it's
it's
okay. I don't understand what the difference is. So you're bringing up stuff, and I don't know if it's Marines or if it's Air Force, because I wasn't in either. So I just wanted to clarify for our other listeners who are probably confused. So you're in the Air Force at this point.
Yeah. So
and you run into him as the master guns.
Yeah, as an operator. But now I'm going to go back because it was Gunny Bordash and Gunny Coleman that gave me the shot, and I ran into them like 10 years later, 15 years later.
Wild.
And I'm just thanking them for being so awesome to me and giving me the opportunity. But back at Second Force, I became the Pathfinder team leader. And then there was this mass exodus of recon Marines going into combat control and pararescue, and Air Force Special Operations Command was standing up this elite unit. They recruited from recon Marines, Rangers, Special Forces, Green Berets, SEAL teams, and they wanted all this combat experience. So I got a chance. I assessed. It almost killed me because of the water confidence. They tie your hands and your feet behind you, and you just stay in the pool forever until you pass out, right? And so I got selected into combat control, and that's why I left the Marine Corps. Full disclosure, and I hope that none of my combat control buddies, you know, give me flack about this. I love the Marine Corps, and MARSOC had not stood up at the time. And I think that if MARSOC was already stood up, I most likely would have stayed. But at the same time, there's no way I would have gotten the combat experience as a JTAC, which is pretty much what I did predominantly for all my combat experience in the Air Force. And I was able to be upfront and engage the enemy directly. Go ahead, sister.
Okay. Again, you're talking to someone who doesn't understand. What is MARSOC? What is J? Whatever. You've got a baby.
My
Barney
bad.
style it for me.
No, okay. It's cool. It's cool.
Barney style.
Yeah,
So
you got to
MARSOC,
help with the acronyms that we use in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, that's cool. I dig that. So MARSOC is the Marine Special Operations Command.
Okay.
And what they did originally is they sucked in all of Second Force Recon, and they stood up MARSOC a couple years after I left, right? And they're the Raiders. They're the elite special operators in the Marine Corps. I left Second Force not knowing MARSOC was coming to fruition. And even then, like, I wouldn't have ever gotten a chance to lead men the way that I did if I didn't cross over. And I crossed over to Air Force Special Operations Command, AFSOC. AFSOC owns the Special Tactics Pararescue, Special Tactics Combat Controllers, and all sorts of other, MOSs. And now today they call them Special Warfare. So I was a combat control officer, also a Special Tactics officer. So they got a lot of these elite, job descriptions. And the bottom line is what I did predominantly is I dropped bombs. So I was not just military free fall. I was a combat diver. I was a demolition expert. I was trained in every weapon known to man. I could deploy with them as long as I qualified. I was trained with every vehicle known, four-wheelers, motorcycles, mini motorcycles, all these vehicles, so that I could adapt to whatever team. Now, combat controllers under AFSOC are attached to special operations units, predominantly Green Berets and SEALs. And what we do is we're the hammer. So when a combat controller deploys, my primary weapon system is my radio with the aircraft overhead. So when we get into troops in contact, everybody's shooting, right? We got our pea shooters, boom, 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 right? It's like the combat controller's like, hey, guys, just relax here. I got an F-15. We're 2 minutes out, cleared hot. Bomb comes in, boom, bomb's gone. Let's keep moving forward. So that's what I crossed over to do from the Marine Corps. And as a Pathfinder team leader in the Marine Corps, you're responsible for like air ops, jumping out of planes. I was a jump master eventually and things like that. But in the Air Force, like they take it to a totally nother level because it's the Air Force, right? I mean, we own aircraft. MARSOC does a phenomenal job. Combat Controls, the subject matter experts when it comes to joint terminal attack controlling aircraft, all the munitions. We're also can land any aircraft. We're air traffic controllers, certified, and we can land aircraft in austere environments. So anything dealing with the aircraft and controlling that airspace, that's what we did as the special tactics combat controller. So that's what I did. I really loved it. And it's a 3-year pipeline. It was very extensive. And they test your metal, man. And I believe we're the longest pipeline in all of special operations. Wow. Sorry for all the acronyms, but I hope I broke that down. No,
it's okay. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. That is intense. Yeah.
We're at about the hour mark, so we'll take a quick break. We're going to do I made this since we got Dr. Damon on, and he's a Marine. I made this little AI Marine song up. So I thought it would be kind of good and an opportunity to play this, give you guys a quick break. If you need to go to the restroom, get a drink or something, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, stand by and listen to this. I love this little Marine song that AI made. So let's see if I can get it up and I'll bring us off. All right. And here.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We are the ones lacing out first. Boots in the sand, in the dust, in the dirt. From yellow footprints to the fire line. Every step sharpened like a battle cry. We are the Marine Corps. Devil dogs since 75. Led by legends, hear that roll. Chesty pullers still from Tripoli to Mountain Air. We stand up, we never hide. We are the Marine Corps. Devil dogs with burning pride. John Basilone with the ammo belt. Still in the stare, every rival felt. Names on the wall, ink in our veins. Every new grunt carries that flame. We are the Marine Corps. Devil dogs since 75. Led by legends, hear that roar. Chesty pullers still alive. From Tripoli to Mountain Air. We stand up, we never hide. We are the Marine Corps. Devil dogs with
We are the Marine Corps, hard-charging war-born force, led by legends, Chesty Puller and our Lord, John Barcelone, blazing through the smoke and the roar from the shores of Tripoli. To the halls of Montezuma, devil dogs carving history, dripping, sweat, spitting rumor, dropping panties in 75, raise the God into the sky. We were made to fight. Blood, strife, pride, eagle, globe, anchor, steel in our spine, every step getting braver. Sand in our teeth, every storm, every danger. Brothers, sisters, every stranger, a future savior. Left, right, left, hear that cadence shake the ground. Boots hit dirt, ancestors in every sound. Born in 75, every heartbeat battle loud. Once a Marine, forever Marine, shot it proud. From the shores of Tripoli to the halls of Montezuma, devil dogs carving history, dripping sweat, spit, and rumor, dropping pennies since 75. Raise a God into the sky. We were made to fight.
I gotta fix this. Oh, there we go. Little something
that was
for the Marines.
Yup,
That was
yup,
awesome. That
yup,
had a
yup.
good little beat.
Hoorah, devil dog.
Urgh.
So quick question. Okay, the devil dog thing. Like in the army, right? Like our different units had different names, but like all of the Marines are devil dogs. Is that
Yeah, it was a name given to us in the Battle of Bellawood by the Germans.
okay? I did not know that. All right,
Yep.
good to know. But you guys have different names for your companies and battalions and stuff like that too, right?
there is definitely
Okay.
a lot of different units have their own little kind of names. A lot of people make coins and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and of their little units and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
But we're not
Well, thank you.
we're not like patchers and stuff like that. Like I feel like, the Army kind of Boy Scoutish, where you guys get like patches for a lot of stuff that you guys do. You know what I mean? Where us, it's like our
It gets really
uniform,
bad.
You know what I mean?
It gets really bad. It's kind of annoying. It's one of the things like with the Navy SEALs, you just got a trident, boom, right there. That's what it represents.
right.
Right? I
Yep.
like
Well,
that.
we
The
don't
Marshall
we don't
Crater.
have anything too crazy. I mean, like we had our flag on one side and then our combat patch, then we had our unit patch, and then if somebody was like a sapper or something like that, they had a little patch, but nothing else
Yeah, so
crazy
then
like
you guys
that.
got other ones that like go over them, like a chevron or something. I mean, I feel like
Just the-
I've heard the people talk about some wild ones, and I'm just like, oh gosh, damn. I guess that's for us.
I have not seen them
If we were
myself,
to
and I
earn
was in
something
for
like
almost
that, it would
6
be like
years.
in the form of like a ribbon or something to that effect, where it would be worn on our dress uniforms or something. But
Yeah, no,
with
we just had
patches?
the combat patch, and then if somebody was like a sapper, they had a sapper tab or anything like that. Like I don't
Yeah.
remember anything crazy like that.
See, in the
Well-
Marine Corps or in our camis, you can't recognize really any different MOSs unless you were a logistics guy and you were a red patcher. Then you knew, okay, that person's logistic. But other than that, you don't know who is infantry, other than maybe like they look a little salty-ish or something. You know what I mean? But we don't have any distinct way of knowing, like, oh, that's a supply guy, or that's they're with the Rangers, or you don't even know the recon guys except they walk around with little small shorts all the time, little black little.
You're talking
Those
about Ranger
those-
panties?
Yeah,
we
they
call
wear
them Ranger panties.
real. Yeah, I mean they're like panties, like you know what I mean. These guys wear them like.
It's all good.
But their legs are just busting, like so that it's like, of course they're gonna wear that.
So that reminds me, before I forget, if anybody has never heard of Irreverent Warriors, that is a nonprofit organization that is all around, and they have these hikes. They're urban hikes. Usually it's like a pub crawl. If you're sober, they have little bands that you can wear so that you guys find each other that are sober. But they do urban hikes throughout like downtown that's called the Silky Hike. And
Yep.
so people show up in their Ranger panties or just like random outfits or this, that, and the other. But if you're in Utah, there is one coming up in May. So reach out to me and I'll give you the details for it. But thank you for reminding me. But the Silkies hike is like a huge thing to promote. Only veterans and active duty are allowed to hike. No family members, no advocates. It is only us veterans or military members, and it is a way for us to just have camaraderie and we can just be ourselves. So if you're interested, Irreverent Warriors, every like major city, I believe, has one, and they have this Silkies hike.
Yeah, definitely
That's
have heard
cool.
about it. It's something great to reconnect and have some fun and get back on wearing your Stilkies again. Um, and yeah, and going at the pace of everybody else. And then I think after about a couple bars in, I think it turns into probably a great time, I imagine. I don't
Yeah.
know. But let's go ahead and talk about the next step of life for you. You know, did you end up retiring out of the Air Force? Did you
Yeah.
did your time? How much did you
Yeah.
do in total service?
Yeah.
And
So
what was your transition like too? Did you land on your feet? Did you have hell when you get out? And what programs were available for you when you did get
yeah.
out?
So I transitioned into the Air Force, and it was definitely a culture shock. But special
Mhm.
tactics is by far, I mean, they're just a bunch of meat eaters. They really are. I found my tribe in the Air Force, and I almost feel like they were not the Air Force, right? So it's just like elite unit. We were well taken care of, very well equipped, well funded, and the Air Force took a lot of pride in who we are and the work that we did in SOCOM, Special Operations Command headquarters, right? They really appreciated the work that we were doing in Afghanistan. I think some statistics are like, you know, there was a stat that I read, like 75% of all the kills come from JTACs, Joint Terminal Attack Controllers, and predominantly JTAC controllers or combat controllers. So that I thought that was a pretty cool stat, that we're responsible for the majority of, you know, bad people killed. I did that for 15 years. My first deployment was with a Green Beret team, Special Forces. We did kick down doors and finding high value targets, and that thrusted me pretty much predominantly the majority of my career. Then I redeployed. I went to the Korengal Death Valley with General McChrystal. I was his fires guy, literally in the Korengal at the combat outpost. If you ever saw Restrepo, which is a Sundance Film Festival Award, highly recommend that you watch it. The most dangerous place in all of the world. Younger was one of the journalists out there, and documented it. One of his his buddies that was a co-producer was killed later on. Doing the work that he did as a combat journalist. I just deployed over and over again as a Joint Terminal Attack Controller, and because CivCAS was at an all-time high, they just started requiring maybe higher levels of ranks to drop the bombs in certain places. Our combat controllers, I'll tell you right now, I'll go on and broadcast that I'm not the best combat control, JTAC in the world. We've got a lot of dudes and the best are the enlisted guys, hands down. I just got to play JTAC because we didn't have enough combat controllers out there that were JTAC qualified. So I got a chance to play in the sandbox, right? But I was a JTAC in 2010. I was a JTAC.
What rank are you at this? What rank were you at?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, what was your
rank?
Yeah,
so I crossed over as a first lieutenant captain. I picked up captain, and then I operated predominantly as captain. 2008-9, 2010 deployment to Afghanistan, and 2012 I was a major, and I was the mission commander for Afghanistan at the time.
Nice.
And after that, I started working. Ultimately, I commanded. I was a special tactics squadron commander. That's a high honor. I'm grateful for General Wolf Davidson for bringing me on and to be a commander. Very few individuals get a chance to command in their lifetime. And I got a chance to command and in special tactics. And then ultimately, my last post was Special Operations Command Central, located at MacDill. I was the deputy director for future operations, and then ultimately the director of future operations. And it was a great opportunity.
So you were kind of a big deal.
Yeah. He's all glossing through it like
yeah.
Well,
like you were up there.
I would like to say that I'm very blessed in my career. I received opportunities. I was the first future operations officer at SOCCENT that was Air Force. Mostly they're either Green Berets or SEALs, and a lot of them are have the have that Delta or SEAL Team 6, flavor in their lives. And I was the first Air Force guy. And and
they
cool
had to know
stat-
a little bit about your resume, because you ain't no fluke. You know what I mean? So you were a badass coming out of it already. I'm sure they saw that in you.
I think that there was a lot of people with a lot of combat experience, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And I will tell you that I'm just grateful that I was able to perform at the level that I did. There are a lot of great people out there that would have done the same job. And I'm grateful that you guys read, my some accolades. I would like to highlight one thing that before I forget. I do have some medals, right? But the one that I'm most proud of are not how many BSMs or Valor that I have. It's the one, the Spirit of Hope Award that I received from Secretary of Defense Mattis. Mad Dog Mattis when he was Secretary of Defense, and I received that award because it was about 2010-12 where I was redeployed, and I had already gone through a lot of I mean, I want to just get a little raw for a second, because I know that we're kind of getting a little bit closer to the end, and I've got about 20 minutes max. And I wanted to say that that in 2010, I was at my lowest point. And I was not only dealing with PTSD. So I came back from the Korengal Death Valley. That mission, that deployment changed my life. I came back. I wasn't just dealing with PTSD. I was dealing with mild traumatic brain injury. I was dealing with, the concussive blasts that were happening in such close proximity. It's a 2-kilometer kill box. You could drop something 1,500 meters away, 1,500 away, or 3,000. It's open. You could feel the reverberation of a 2,500-pound bomb, like literally just go right through you. And and coming back, I was dealing with a lot of chronic pain, carrying that 120-pound rucksack and all that gear all over, and just dealing with killing. Humans are not made to kill. I don't care who you are. Some of us are just better at doing it than others. But the reality is to process something like that. That's why a lot of us are psychopaths. You have to be a psychopath. We celebrate when we blow up a bunch of people, and we send them to the other side, right? Like you're not all right when you do that.
You have to dissociate.
Yeah. It's like, and so we expect these guys and gals that come from combat home and to be normal. So I'm at my house. I just came back from the Korengal. I'm headed up to JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command. I assessed on Green Team, got selected. And so I was going, and I just came back from that deployment, and I was messed up, man. I was messed up in the head. Here's my son trying to play with me. And I'm just, even though I left Afghanistan did not
1,000-mile stare.
I'm telling you, I remember in that evening, I just couldn't do it anymore. There was so much noise in my head, and it was the darkest time. Many of us find ourselves sitting in that living room. It's dark. You got your Glock. It's loaded. And the reality is I'm just tired. I'm so tired. I've gone through so much pain. I've woken up in the hospital 3 different times. 3 different times. The last time in 2019, which was played a major role in why I got out after the 20 total years, 15 of it in special warfare. I was inpatient for 3 months and 9 months for outpatient. And I was diagnosed with early onset of dementia from all of the blasts. And so later on, post-concussive syndrome. And the fact of the matter is that I was waking up. Now I want to just throw something out at you. I know we do a lot of interaction here, but I want to just kind of take this one moment and explain to the audience. Imagine that you're dealing with nightmare. You can't sleep. You're having flashbacks from moments that were so intense in the war. You have hypervigilance. You have a lot of anxiety. You have depression. But let's add some more stuff. Because of the mild traumatic brain injury, those synonymous with concussion, you got light sensitivity. Like right now, the lights are kind of killing me a little bit. You've got headaches. You got blurred vision. The world is spinning, right? And there were times when I was vomiting. Like I'm throwing up from the concussive blast. Then you add chronic pain.
You got you must have vertigo. You must have gotten vertigo from it. Yeah.
Yeah, everything is just like you feel like you're imploding. And the reason why I understand suicide, which is by far the most selfish thing that anyone can ever do. All right. I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, you know why I want to do it? Let me tell you why. Because I want all the pain to go away. That's why. It's a selfish thing. I just don't want to deal with the pain anymore. The psychological pain, the cognitive pain, the physical pain, the social pain. And you know what? The spiritual pain, that moral injury that you have. And so I was going to do it. And I'm in my living room. And I thought to myself, man, is this really the right place to do it? So I already decided I was going to do it. Now I'm debating on, is this the right place to do it? Like, if I blow my head off in the living room, does that mean that, my son's going to find me? Maybe I should do it in my office. Maybe I should get in my car. And at that very moment, God shows up. And I want it for all the listeners out there. It's so important. 8 billion people in the whole world. I keep emphasizing on this. Without a shadow of a doubt, whether you want to believe me or not, this is a fact. This is the truth. He knows you by name. When you were shaped, when you were crafted, when you were born, he knew exactly who you were. And he has a plan in your life, and there's a purpose in your life. And so God shows up and he says, I have great plans for you, plans to win and persevere and not to lose. This isn't the first time I heard the voice. I heard that same voice when I was in juvie, and I'm sitting there thinking, I want a meaningful life. But ultimately, I wanted to find a life of peace and joy. So fast forward, I'm thinking, and I got redeployed in 2012 after I finally went, after a year and a half, 2 years of recovery. I messed everything up. Listeners out there, dude, I was a terrible father. I was a terrible husband. I was a complete piece of crap. All I cared about was killing bad people. That's all I cared about. And I sacrificed the people that mean so much to me for the war. I gave my best years to my country. Hands down, I did. And a part of me is regretful. I wish there was the military had a better resiliency program instead of, hey, FN, Foxtrot November, are you good? Oh, I'm good. You sure about that? Yep. Now I'm just going home. It's a bunch of bull crap. I mean, how can you be good after you're just done, scarfing people up, right? So then when I redeployed and I was feeling a whole lot better, I'm in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, I was going to blow my head off 2 years ago, but I found God, I found hope, and I found my purpose. And in Afghanistan, when I was the mission commander, I was praying to God. I know that there's something more in life than all of this. And all of a sudden, the vision of SOF Missions began. The shield of faith, this whole armor of God. What does it mean to be a Spartan? Carry your shield, not just to protect you, man, but the brothers and sisters next to you that are fighting, locked in, shield upon shield. But even more, what does the shield look like if you could just take the offense to the enemy? And that was when SOF Missions was born. I call up my wife and I go, babe, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but what do you think if we start a nonprofit where we're going to be able to stop suicide and start empowering and helping veterans to be better people in the world? My wife was like, you're right. I think you're crazy. But anyway, I want to get a chance to talk about SOF Missions before we get off the net, because that's what's radically changing and transforming people's lives psychologically, cognitively, socially, spiritually, and physically. And it's really important that the veterans out there know that there's a program and we're here to help. Sorry for the long the monologue there.
No, it is awesome, brother. But let's go ahead and turn your direction towards, let's talk about the book. Let's talk about the mission. Let's talk about it all. Let's get it out there, because I know you're on your time constraint. So we're just gonna we
got 20 more minutes. Yeah.
Yep.
And I just want to say, if we don't get to everything you want to talk about, let's get you back on the show too, because we would love to continue this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so talk about how you went from that mindset of, hey, I have this mission and I'm feeling God talk to me. I'm still in the military. So how was that transition? What year was this? And how was this transition getting out and getting the help you needed as you're continuing to help the next person?
Yeah. So, Marie, I'm going to tell you something. And I'm going to, for all the listeners out there, I'm not a religious person. I have a strong faith in God. I'm a Jesus follower. And at the end of the day,
you're in great company here.
Yeah. I'm just being very transparent. A lot of people don't know. And I'm quick to say it because he saved my life. And in that dark moment, Nobody was there. My wife loved me, but you guys have been married. I mean, you guys have been both married. Like, you hated your spouse at least for a split second. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? Amen, amen, sister, amen. And but like my wife didn't want much to do with me. I was a monster, man. Like, if you looked around, I mean, I'm kicking down doors and stuff. I mean, I'm out of my mind, bro. You know, the way I handled my children is just. I'm just super not
like
proud
our
of it.
spouses start to look at us some kind of a way, right?
Yeah,
like,
we're monsters.
You know,
we are monsters.
yeah.
And so, you know, in that living room, there was nobody there. And there are a lot of people who cared about me, but nobody was there but God. And so I started thinking about, what does it mean to live for something beyond myself? And I thought to myself, surely I'm meant to do more than just kill bad people. I mean, I have a career. I was a Marine. Now I'm a special warfare. I'm in combat control. I'm in special tactics. I'm a STO, blah, blah, blah. Surely there's something more. And I just saw this vision of what it would look like. You've got almost 20 million veterans across the nation, 1.5 million in Florida, my beloved state. What would it look like if we could start saving the lives? We use this 22, right? The 22 is a number. It just represents the suicide epidemic among our veteran community. A lot of people say it's a whole lot more, but regardless of the number, one is too many. What would it look like? What would it look like if we were able to put a dent and we saved one at a time, one person every single day? What would it look like? And so for me, I still struggle. I'm not going to lie. Like, there are times when I start thinking, man, I start getting those bad thoughts in my head, but I'm quickly reminded that God has a plan for me. I know my purpose. I know what my mission is. And the reality is that I'm here on this earth to save lives. I'm here on earth to conduct a service that nobody else is doing, and it's vital. So we provide free high-end medical care today. That's what we do. And and the mission of the organization evolved. It started off as one thing with veterans deploying, providing all this humanitarian care, doing medical clinics along the nation. And then one day we just started a medical clinic right here in Florida, right in the heart of Tampa. I'm sitting here and I'm using my influence and my power and everything that I am to try to get as many veterans to know that there is hope and there's a plan, and we've got one right here. When I started transitioning after 20 years of service, it was not easy at all. And if there was anybody that had it like locked in, it was me. I'm telling you, you served 20 years in the military, and now you're part of the civilian world. Civilians don't understand. They don't understand. This is a weird place in the world. And I got out during COVID. When I got out, like, you got the mask mandate,
challenging times.
COVID shot, you got the political friction,
and everyone's losing their shit, and you're like sitting there, hey, stop being a dumbass.
Yeah, can I just process my retirement paperwork, please? Like, no retirement, nothing, like, and then you had the social justice movement. I mean, the whole thing was just so overwhelming. And I found myself like back at my house, you got all the riots happening. I'm loading up, man. I got go bags upon go bags. I got weapons. My wife was thinking, are you nuts? I'm like, man, the war comes to my house, bro. I'm ready. Gonna bring it, man. I got booby traps and stuff, I won't even tell you what I got. 20 years in special. I'm like, what do I got? Right. Like,
might have some stuff that's not quite legal.
Yeah. But hey, look, I'm not going down. I'm not going down. All right. If Taliban could kill me, none of you guys are going to kill me. So,
yep.
The transition was really hard, and it took me about 3 years. I don't know why. It just took me about 3 years. The first year I was super like I thought I had it together. The second year I'm in shambles. And the third year I got my crap together. And then after 3 years, made some mistakes, didn't try to figuring out life and running the organization. The organization started growing significantly. And today we have a clinic, Be Resilient program. We have a medical clinic right here in the heart of Tampa. And we fly veterans from all 50 states right here in the heart of Tampa. And we provide the highest level of medical care. It's head to toe. Just one day of the 5. One of the days, this is what one day look like. You go to the strength conditioning coaches, you do physical training, You see the nutritionist, you see the head doc. My doc is the former physician for Air Force One, and he's just one of 3 of elite physicians. You see the physical therapist, you see the acupuncturist, the massage therapist, the chiropractor. You see the social reintegration expert. You do adaptive golf or jiu-jitsu, and then you close out with spirituality. Like, hey, who God is and our ultimate purpose. That's one stinking day. And unless you have a lot of money and great wealth or an NFL athlete, that doesn't exist. But we do that for our veterans, and this is why we do it for you. We do it because you deserve it. That's why. And our country has failed freaking miserably to take care of our veterans. That's why they're lost, half of them, and they feel that they're broken. And I just know that we deserve the same freedom that we fought for everybody else. We deserve that. If anyone that deserves it's the one that put the uniform on. And so I want to give my veterans an opportunity to thrive in life, to be the fathers, to be the mothers, to be the brothers, the sisters, to be the sons and daughters, to be, to have that career and all those other things. So I served 20 years. It was tough. And now we have SOF Missions and we're saving lives.
Dude, that is such an
Outstanding.
amazing program. And as I said before, our friends over at Homefront SitRep, Willis and Gunny, just participated in your clinic, and they can't stop talking about just how fantastic it was. I love what you were doing. Before I forget, because I will forget, if you can put together like a 1-page flyer, I will start promoting it all over social media. So
Hands
please
down.
send that to me, because I would love to send it on our podcast website and stuff like that.
I'm shared here too.
Yeah. And that is so fantastic what you're doing there. Can you kind of explain a little bit more so you talked about day 1. Can you talk a little bit more about how long the program is, and some more details of what it entails and how people can contact you with regards to that?
Yeah. So before I forget, maybe both of you should come.
I would love
you guys
to.
are influencers. We have a all-female clinic that's coming up right now in April. It's stacked, but October. Love to have you come in, Marie, and be one of our
That sounds
warriors.
wonderful.
Then you could be a true advocate. And Bryan, you just let me know. We'll slide you in the slot. Come back, and then you'll be like, Marie, you got no idea what's going on. It's going to blow your mind. So we bring our warriors in, and for 5 days, we're doing head to toe. It's kind of like in NASCAR. You know how they're traveling at 200 miles an hour? Pit boss is like, it's time to come on in. But a lot of veterans are like, nah, I'm going to just keep living life. Now you're going 190. Now you're going 170. Now you just got smoke going on in your engine. No big deal. Got a crack in your window. You got a flat tire. Now you're going 20 and you're wondering, your car's going, and you're wondering like why your whole life is unraveling, because the pit boss has been calling you to come on in for quite a while. So the pit boss, SOF Missions, is calling all you veterans out there to come on in, and we're going to do a bumper to bumper. So that's what we do for 5 days. We do full assessment, immediate care at the time. There's a lot that we can do in those 5 days, but here's the coolest part, Marie and Bryan. We give you a follow-on care plan, and that follow-on care plan is going to be yours. And so if you need more chiro, great, you get chiro. You need more physical, great, therapy. Jiu-jitsu, a year's worth of jiu-jitsu. Bryan, Marie, I'm telling you, jiu-jitsu saves lives, baby. Jesus and jiu-jitsu for me. Highly recommend if you're not doing it now. Yeah, and then or adaptive golf. I do both, but jiu-jitsu, dude, listen to me. There's nothing like smashing a 25-year-old in the face, and it's legal, man.
Yeah.
I know this feeling. It's like and it's a place to really concentrate.
Want to go smack somebody in there. So
I'm telling you, to concentrate your energy, and it's great for PTSD. The research is there. We Defy Foundation is a partner of ours. Check them out. They get a free scholarship for a year, and if you don't get it from We Defy, we provide that scholarship for you, because we really believe that jiu-jitsu does a number, especially for people with anger management issues. So,
right.
So we give you the follow-on care plan. And it's everything that you went through with our physicians that make the recommendation. And wherever you are, we drop a resiliency ring around you. And then you maintain connection of all of our high-end practitioners. And we make sure that you get the care that you need for one complete year. One complete year. Because sometimes it just takes that time. It takes that long. Some people get their crap together in 3 months. Some it takes 9 months. Some probably 2 two to five a year need to take an additional year, and that's fine. No
Well,
big
hell,
deal,
some of these people spent 40 something years just piling shit up and never dealing with it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, to get through it,
Yeah.
it's going to take some time
Yeah.
to, you took that many years to pile
Yeah.
it all on, man, to sift through it. It's going to take some time as well.
And we do it at a resort. So there's no complaints, man. Like, I mean, you get resort food, you stay in a resort room, resort bed, resort view. I mean, it's all on campus. Like, no, you're not allowed to leave campus because you got a resort. Like, where are you going to go? Right. And we help. And a lot of dudettes, they have a drinking problem. I would say 9 out of 10 have a drinking problem. 9 out of 10 struggle with suicidal ideation.
9 years sober for me. So yeah.
Oh, right on. Good for you, man. Some people, and I tell them, they go dry. We force them to go dry because we start helping them sleep. With the insomnia expert, we have the 10 commandments of sleep, and we help them. We give them machines to help them sleep better, the pharmaceutical supplements, tinnitus machines. We got pain management machines, the stims, everything. And we give this to you. We literally spend about $60,000 for 12 veterans to come through the program for 5 days. And then another $60,000 for the year-long care. Up to $150,000 for 12.
Wow.
But we, by the grace of God, we've got a great partnership with the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs. We received millions of dollars from the state. We've got incredible donors that have been helping us for a bit of time, and we're growing. We're building our own center of excellence. Is happening in 2027. We're going to be building our own campus, a $15 to $18 million center of excellence in Florida, one of 3 in the future. The service that we're providing is invaluable, and we're really excited. And I'll tell you this much. I just love being able to do this, because when I struggle myself, I just start thinking, okay, I remember what somebody said a long time ago, and I was going through a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to share something kind of personal. And if I get emotional, I apologize. But
Don't apologize.
11 months ago, my son had a catastrophic injury. He's my only son. And he almost died. And he is a paraplegic right now, and he just won the cross country state championships and track and field. Him and his team, and running runs in our veins. Like, that's what got me through college. My wife was All-American, state champion, very successful runner like myself. So running is like, he could have been a national champion. Like, he's fast. And if you ever saw him run, he was amazing, his stride. And it really, really changed the way I saw life. And I'll tell you another thing. You guys both have children, and all the trauma I've ever dealt with myself doesn't even compare. I'd trade the wheelchair that he has any day. By God's grace, he's been healing. I've spent a lot of time in prayer, and I just want to say this to everybody that, in a couple of days, in like 2 weeks, it's going to be a live day, right? God saved his life. God knows that there's no way I didn't have a father, and I wanted to be a father to my son, because and being a dad is hard. Like, I didn't know what that looked like. I don't know how you and your dad was, but at least you had an idea to gauge what was good and what is bad. For me, I just wanted to be a father. And today, my son and I are closer than we've ever been. And it's a fight to get him back on his feet and walk. He may never run, but God has a plan for him in his life. He's a Friedman. He's called to do something great. I mean, you read my resume, and the fact is that God has always had that plan. All that I ever do in my life is do my best. And that's why I tell my kids, do your best, and if you do your best, then you're going to find yourself in the right place where you're called to be. And for me, I've reprioritized my life. I hate the fact that I gave my best years to my country. I just wish I was more present at home. And I think that why I'm sharing all of this is because of this. Being here on this earth, out of all my struggles, God requires me to be here because my son needs a father. There's no way he could get through it without me. And the responsibilities that we have to the people around us, there's so many people, if you're listening and you're struggling, just hear me out. There's a lot of people that love you. There's a lot of people depending on you. There are a lot of people that care about you. And maybe you burned every bridge. It doesn't change the fact that you're loved. And God has a plan for you. And things are hard. But you know what? There's goodness in the world. And I'm proof of it. If I can make it, if I can somehow make it out of downtown LA, low income projects, a father that used to beat the shit out of us. I mean, do cocaine and you had no idea the stuff that man did in front of us and to us. If I can survive that, survive juvie, have a learning disability, somehow, some way, slide into college, somehow find the heart and the passion to become a Marine and do everything else that I've done. If God can do this with me, God can do it with you. I don't feel I'm the smartest guy, but I'll tell you what, I got a heart that beats, and I got a heart like a lion. And that's all you need in life. So I just, all the veterans out there, man, SOF Missions, sofmissions.org. If you're hurting, man, I don't want to hear, oh, I've already tried, hunting and like Heroes on the Water or whatever. That's not an actual, I don't know if that's an org, or fly fishing or I went to the VA. I don't want to hear it. We have 1,000% success rate. By the grace of God, thank you. Nobody's ever committed suicide. 9 out of 10 become full productive members of society. Check out the results on all of our warriors. They're thriving, they're living, they're being the best fathers and mothers, and they're out there and they're taking they're taking life by storm, one lightning bolt at a time. So I'm really grateful that I could be on the show and have an opportunity to have the talking stick just to share my story. My son is an inspiration to me, and I'm grateful that I'm still here, because if I listened to all the dark voices, I wouldn't be here. And that person who talked to me just recently saying, remember, Damon, if you weren't here, how many lives would be lost? So you have a purpose, man, and it's significant. It's magnificent. It's wonderful. It's amazing. Find your purpose and, man, get after it. So I just wanted to share those words, Bryan and Marie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No, thank you, brother.
Love that, Damon. That was such a phenomenal story and a perfect way to kind of end this. And it's fantastic to see what you have done and a working definition that I have for resiliency. And I talk about it on the podcast all the time, right? Resiliency. Some people think that word means, just getting up and going and just keeping going and pushing through. And that's resiliency. My definition of resiliency is the ability, when you get knocked down, to reach out for help and get back up. It's to reach out for help continuously. And it seems like that is what you're doing. And that is what you're encouraging other people to do. And I think that it is beautiful and fantastic. And before Bryan wraps us up, tell us a little bit about this book that you have coming up. I didn't get a link. I don't know if Bryan was able to pull it up. But tell us a little bit about this book that's coming up.
I do have this. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he has another new book coming out, but I did pull up this book. Hold on. Let me get it going.
Yeah. So while you're digging that up, Special Warfare CEO, go to Amazon.com. Right now it's pre-order. Really excited. It's basically everything that I ever learned. Never bothered. Didn't read one other leadership book whatsoever. That's my Igniting Movements book. But if you check out Special Warfare CEO on Amazon, you'll be able to find that. And but it's everything that I ever learned, and it's really focused on developing leaders from the inside out. And there are all my lessons learned as a special operator, as a commander, as a nonprofit leader, government, and just really excited to be able. I did boot camps for Fortune 500 companies of 100 million plus as well. And this is what I teach them all about: identity, your journey. What does it mean to have balance, servant leadership, how establishing culture, and tools and tactics, and how do you accomplish a mission? And last but not least, I tell this, and this is a very controversial statement with leaders in the military. I like to say, people first. mission always. We know, like everybody says, oh, mission first, people
Mission
always,
first,
you
yeah.
know, but I've changed that paradigm because after 20 years worth of war, I was like, dude, you're burning everybody out. Everybody's leaving because you don't care about your people. You just care about the mission. And I have
And then
Mission
they
found
just
isn't nothing
refill.
without the people. The mission is nothing without the people, right?
And
You
then
can't
they just
complete the
refill
mission.
it.
You can't do nothing about the mission
Yeah.
without the
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah. And lastly, I'll
They
just say
treat people like they are
products.
disposable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say that if you know your people, you love your people, you know their problems, you know their family, and you take care of them, they'll go to the ends of the earth for you and back, and they'll always accomplish the mission because they want to honor you. They care about you. They know that they're loved. They cherish the job that they have. So if you just put the people first, you don't have to worry about it. And that's the way that I run my nonprofit. It's the way that I run my company. It's the way that I teach executive leaders for, you know, big companies all around the country. It's like, listen, man, I understand your mission. I got it. Without the mission, nobody has a job. All right. We already know that. I got that. How about you just put the people first, and then the mission's always going to get taken care of. But yeah, go to Amazon, Special Warfare CEO, Dr. Damon Friedman. Really grateful. Broad Street Publishing Company. Thank you, Carlton, for believing in me and publishing me and really marketing this really hard. Coming out 2nd June. Get the pre-order. And if you do, I'll get you a signed signature on that one. Okay. So Bryan and Marie, we're going to make sure that you guys have a couple books. We love you. And I'm excited. You know what we should do? We should have another podcast, but that's after you two come through the program, at least Bryan through, because Marie, you're in October. So we'll see what the timing looks like. But I'd love to talk about it, because then we're going to really dive into your experience and what was making the biggest impact. And I'll tell you what, that's going to be really exciting. I love it. And for all of you, again,
I'm excited, dude. And brother, I love you, man. You are an amazing human. And you keep being the light, man. You're a beacon of light, dude. You just keep being that light for others. You keep going down the route you need. And I'm always here, bro, as well. You know, I'm here to listen. No judgments pass for me. You know, I know big guys like you still need people to talk to too, bro. You know what I mean? Everybody needs somebody to talk to or someone to lean on, no matter who they are. And then, you know, I know a lot of times we look at people who are running these type of things like, oh, they got to be like just middle warriors and all this stuff. Like, no, man, that doesn't mean that they haven't gone through it or experiencing and still don't go through stuff. So I think a lot of times people forget about the ones who actually started, because they just look at them as like, oh, they started this. They should be, you know, chipper, you know, but
yeah,
you're human.
No, I am human. And that's why I'm always transparent. I believe vulnerability is a strength, and it's just important that, you know, that you're always honest with your people. I surround myself with really smart people that love me, people I trust, and I can just be myself. And that's what's most important. Be you, because that's what the world needs. And the world is better because you're in it. I really appreciate being on the show, guys. Bryan and Marie, love you so much. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. And again, for all of my veterans out there, sofmissions.org. Hopefully you guys can pop that up in the thread. Anybody who's looking for hope, I love to take care of you guys, and appreciate you big time.
Thank you so much, brother.
Damon.
Gosh, man, what an amazing guest. And he's definitely one of those ones we're going to have another part, right? Because in the amount of time that we've gone, there's so much that we kind of glazed over that's just amazing stuff. But, you know, Dr. Damon is a pure example of resiliency, and never allowing himself to trip over his faults or things that got too heavy for him. He kept pushing through and kept persevering, and now he's an advocate. And that's one of the biggest things that we talk about, from PTSD to advocacy, right? And you know, that's Dr. Damon is a perfect example of that, and perfect for our show. And you guys can learn a lot from these guests, you know, and the things that they go through and how they do it. And some of these people are amazing warriors, just amazing warriors, and they're still amazing warriors, healing out loud and sharing their experiences. Because if we just hold everything in, guys, we're not going to learn from one another. So it is great for people like Dr. Damon to come on, and Marie and all of our other past guests to just, share it. We got to do it. We want to save each other. We want to know that we got each other, and we got to stop just kind of talking about it and be about it as well.
Yep.
But do you have anything to say before we head out? What I did not do is I would like to share real quick another author that we have in our community. Her name is Betsy Ross, and she writes the Fight series. And this is, an extremely great book for veterans and stuff like that. A lot of people have no idea what the book is about, but she has some great reviews. So it's definitely one to go check out. Once again, her name is Betsy Ross, and she is the author of the Fight series, and she's also working on other stuff as well. But she's just another great authors that we have in our community. We have so many different talents. We got musicians and stuff like that. So maybe on the next show, I'm gonna pull up a YouTube video of some veterans that have done some music, and they're putting their musics together. So maybe we'll start showing some support for our fellow brothers and sisters who are out there using their art to heal, and whether it be talking about it, writing about it, singing about it, fishing about it, whatever it may be. We just want to highlight that so that everybody else has some way you can find your way that helps you heal.
Yeah. And if you want to be featured on here, please send us an email, marie@sliderbabe.com. If you would like to be a guest, please go to sliderbabe.com. You can watch, get a link to all of our shows, and you can go and become a guest and sign up there. Or you can also email Bryan. Every day's a Saturday, 365, right? Every 365.
Here,
Yeah,
I'll
if you want to
put it
pull
up.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
there you go. Every day's a Saturday, 365 at yahoo.com. So email either of us. Let us know. This was such an awesome, awesome show, and I am grateful. And again, go look up SOF Missions on all the different social media. I think he said sofmissions.org, if I
I think
remember
so.
correctly. Yeah, and so please check
I'll
out.
make sure I put it in the description of the show.
Yes. So go check him out, show some love, and sign up for the program if you're interested. It sounds like a wonderful program. Thank you again, Damon, for Dr. Damon Freeman, for being on our show and for your patience. And we're just grateful that you were able to be here. So,
And want to say thank you guys so much for supporting the show. We love all the support we get. Just hit a huge milestone, hit over 10,000 audio downloads on the audio side. So that is super cool to finally hit that major milestone. That just goes to show that people are out there listening to it. And just as a recent, we've really been getting a spike in listens and stuff like that. So please share this out with everybody. A lot of people can learn from this, family members, friends that can start to understand a little bit of the background of veterans, why they feel the way they do. It definitely a lot of understanding, especially on this show in particular. It kind of shows you the transition and how hard that is, going from the military life into the civilian world, and how much each and every one of us kind of struggles to adapt, and where do we find our place in a place that we're not familiar with anymore. So we just thank you guys once again for supporting the show. And don't forget to like, share. It's free 99, and it doesn't cost a thing. We're on YouTube and all the great platforms. So if you guys want to watch this, Spotify does play video and audio, or you can go over to YouTube, subscribe over there, and it will either be in the live video area or it will be in the pre-recorded. It depends if we went over 2 hours, because the next video that we got to drop is over 2 hours.
So will you just explain, when are you dropping videos?
Okay, so I got to get better as I'm working back into this and transitioning. I'm not doing a good job. It's usually on Mondays or Thursdays, or both Monday and Thursday. It depends on how it goes. But when every day's a Saturday, USMC veteran comes back in, we'll probably do coffee talk. We'll drop on a Monday, and then Thursday will be every day's a Saturday. And then on Saturdays, guys, we're going to play it live on Facebook. As long as it didn't go over 2 hours, we have that ability. So we'll play it on a Saturday about 10 p.m. or in between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you are a huge Facebook person, that's a great place to go catch us. Also, make sure you add us on the groups. I have the Every Day's a Saturday USMC group. Marie has made a group as well of a community where it's about using your art to heal out loud and things like that. So definitely go check out the different Facebook groups we have. And other than that, do you have any other last things? I know
That's it. Thank you guys for being here.
But thank you guys so much. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day. Don't let the day kick your ass. Make sure you're out there kicking it.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.